Now, how did you think this was going to go before the game started? I thought it was going to be an epic matchup, and for the first quarter or so, really was before Clemson started to pull away. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. You could see it develop, but I didn't see it coming in the first half or the first quarter anyway. What did you think, and versus how it played out?
Well, I started the year. I had these two in the national championship game, and I had Clemson winning. And mainly because of what Dabo's got going on there, the combination of just raw talent, the senior story like Wilkins coming back most guys don't do that these days. And you just combine all the little things. Plus, as good as that offense kept getting as the season went on, we knew that defense was tough. But as good as that offense got as the season went on, you just had to know. I know Notre Dame, after their game last year, could have told Alabama how good Clemson was. I don't even remember anybody asking them that. But, they are really good on offense, and Trevor Lawrence is going to have probably a very unique kind of historic situation on his hands in the next year or so, because he'll have people in his ear telling him it shouldn't be legal. They shouldn't be able to stop you from going to the pros if you want to. You're going to hear a lot of talk like that.
Mm-hmm. And we've been down that road before, right, with Mo Claret? I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is there more of an opportunity now than there has been in years past, do we see?
There may be. There may be. Everybody gets a trophy these days. Right. And, if you think you're right hard enough, you automatically have a cause.
Right.
So, this could become a cause for certain people. In the reflection of the actual rights of college football players, that's why you have so much room to move on things like this, because their rights, I know they're getting a free education, all the other stuff that people, their heads explode when but they get nothing. They do get a great education, in some cases an unbelievably priced education.
Right.
Yeah, but that is somewhere it's going to always go, and it'll go back there more often as these next couple of years go on.
Randy, you mentioned what Dabo is building there in Clemson, 2 national titles already. If you're the rest of the teams in the ACC, and specifically Florida State, who used to look down at Clemson, while they've been in the ACC together, how do you compete with this monster that he's built at this point?
You probably don't.
1 hour, 1 hour, one day. You have to start improving, your atmosphere. You got to start improving, because this isn't just about football. Football's, we're not talking about splitting, putting a satellite outside of the galaxy or whatever. I mean, football's football. It's the people you get around you and the culture that you build, and that's the hardest thing. It's just like Nick. His whole thing is under the word process. Mm-hmm. Dabo, it's almost like his whole thing is family.
Yeah.
That's how he's built that. And that's what you're competing with. You're not competing with recruiting services. You're not, why in the heck did Ross go as the player of the year in Alabama?
Yep.
Why the hell did he go to Clemson? How many times has that happened in the state of Alabama? I got to think it's highly unusual. I know in Georgia it happens all the time, but in Alabama, when Bama really wants you, that tells you something about the culture and the kind of atmosphere these kids are going to be around for 3-4 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a kid, stud high school player, senior, can you think of a coach you would want him to play for more than Dabo? Just the way he embraces the kid, how he talks to the media, how he interacts with his kids, and then you see Saban going bonkers on the sideline. I've never seen Saban so flustered in my life in the last 2 weeks.
He doesn't get those occasional butt whippings too often, so he does not like those. Yeah, I there were heads exploding. About 11:30. You might have thought those were fireworks. Those were heads exploding. A number of times that Dabo mentioned the Lord and Jesus. There were people watching that going, "Oh no!"
Right. I was going to say
that goes back to that family, that whole atmosphere that he has there, and it's not fake. You can tell just by watching the guy; it's real. So, that's what you're competing against.
So if you had Clemson and Bama before the year started, you picked Clemson thinking Kelly Bryant was probably going to be their quarterback. Obviously, you didn't know he was going to transfer and that Trevor Lawrence was going to take over. So
Trevor Lawrence played high school football about half hour north of me.
Yeah, so you knew he was a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was that size when he was riding in his car around Cartersville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was 6'5" and 210, maybe 205. Maybe they fattened him up a little bit with his freshman 10. But, he was – what are 41 touchdowns in high school?
That's what they said
when
yesterday.
you start as a 14-year-old freshman?